One of the ways that we know how to work spiritual principle is the Mastermind Prayer. It's what we use to get OGOT from a study group to now, this is the vision, being a church in Baltimore. It's called the Mastermind Prayer. And it's about people of like minds forming a collective consciousness for what we want and seeing it coming into manifestation. So I'm going to invite Vaile Leonard from the Light of Truth Center. Let's see, we're celebrating our 29th year this year.
How you doing?
Good.
What a wonderful opportunity to be together, yes?
Yes.
What a wonderful opportunity to share with one another and to just sit down and have a meal together. Isn't that a wonderful thing?
Yes, it is.
Community partners. It's so important to me. So OGOT is celebrating how many years?
30.
30.
Next year will be our 30th. It's 29.
30. And we just celebrated 24 years. Next year will be our 25th year, and we were born of OGOT. So I am a woman in long-term recovery. I have 31 years in February. We're celebrating 32 years. When I came to One God, One Thought Center for Better Living, I think I had about maybe a year, maybe 2 years clean when I came in. And whew, what a thing that was. Over to the side one day and I'll tell you.
Yeah, right.
But one of the first tools and one of the first gifts that I learned how to use was the Mastermind. And so when we first started the church, we were in a little storefront church.
Right.
And after service, every Sunday after service, we mastermind. And we mastermind for the things that we wanted to bring into manifestation until finally we manifested this building. However, in learning how to mastermind, there's a practical application to that sometimes we overlook. When I first started masterminding, I started masterminding for things. And then I came to an understanding that the mastermind and the process is so much bigger than that, so much larger than that. And when we started to mastermind for the Light of Truth Center, we did not mastermind for building. Does everybody know what a mastermind is before I go any further? Everybody seen the process? No. Okay. So the mastermind is a pictorial and a verbal prayer. And so some people call it vision boarding, some people call it, masterminding. And you actually take a piece of paper. We got pictures of things we wanted and put on there, and then underneath put affirmations. And Constance, who is the artist, little thing, she likes to bling everything out, so you should see her mastermind chart. I'm probably on my 8th or 9th mastermind, because every other one that I have completed, we have manifested all of them. All right. Absolutely all of it. We mastermind for our home. We mastermind for our vehicles. We mastermind for everything. And so I was grateful to actually see it in operation. Because when you get a concept and somebody tells you how to pray for something, or they tell you how to do something, and it's kind of like all in your head, it's kind of like an intellectual exercise. Mm-hmm. But until you have that demonstration, until you have that practical application of the things that you're being taught, then it's a whole different ball game. And that's kind of what happened to us. There were 4 of us here that came together on Thursday evenings, and we mastermind every single Thursday for an entire year before we began to actually manifest the Light of Truth Center. Before the first building. And when we started, when we started masterminding together, we mastermind for things that we wanted to experience. We didn't mastermind for the building. We didn't mastermind for programs. We said, when the women come in, we want them to feel love.
Yes.
We wanted them to walk into a place that felt like home. We wanted to create something that was unique and unrepeatable. And so we spoke into manifestation. Every time we came together, we spoke something different. We spoke about placing our ideas, emotions, and feelings in a bubble and blowing it into the universe. We used the practical application of the mastermind, the sheet that we were taught to use, where we, as a call and response, a first part of it, and the second part of it is then those things that you want to experience or manifest. So we wanted to manifest on a material plane, but we also wanted to manifest in the spiritual realm. So that when you walk into the Light of Truth Center now, anybody that's been there, when you walk in the door, do you not, Karen? You feel love.
Yes.
You feel love when you walk through the door. You know, you feel all of the things that we were talking about, the opportunity for women to share with one another, to debunk the lie that women don't get along. That's a lie. To debunk the lie that there's not an underlying sisterhood. That when you tap into it, your life will be changed forever. Y'all sisters know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When all else fails you, you can turn to a sister for support.
Yeah.
In that midnight hour, when you can't pick up the phone and talk to anybody else, you can pick up the phone and talk to a sister. Am I telling the truth?
Yes.
Yes. And so we wanted to create that kind of thing. You know, we wanted to create something. We say that we are different by design and not by default. We intended to be different, clearly, because we had seen a repetition of recovery houses that were not supporting recovery, and they were not supporting the people that were in the houses. And so that's actually how we started with the Light of Truth Center, is that we had an experience. I'm part of the 12-step program, and in the 12-step program, we are sponsors, so some of us support other people in the program to grow through the program. So I went to pick up a sponsee from a recovery residence, and I stepped in the door and was overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed. It was filthy. There were no curtains at the window. There were no bedspreads on the beds. The furniture looked like somebody had found something in the alley. I'm serious. And brought it into the house. And I began to weep. And I actually, the energy of the house was so unsafe that I backed out the door.
Yes.
You ever been someplace where you know you're in the wrong? You know you're in the wrong place. It's like, God, get me out here safe. Please, because I did not know what was going on up in there. But what happened from that instant to this very instant today, that something inside of me raised up and said, we could do better than this. Who will address this if not us?
Thank you.
Who will make the difference still to this day? And Reverend Bernette has been gently, y'all know, how many of y'all had to Bernette Lee Jones experience. Well,
In the thick of it.
When you one day and you doing something and you don't know how you got there. And you don't know how you ended up doing something that this little voice in the background says, you know you gotta get into policy eventually. You know you gotta begin to address this eventually. You know, I've got some documents you know, that I'm gonna share with you so you can learn how you can do this. You might want to, okay. 24 years later. 24 years later, I joke about it, but 24 years later, not only do we have recovery residences, not only do we have a training center in Baltimore, not only do we have the first test site in Baltimore City, but we are now, and I just came in today from Hagerstown, from teaching all week long in the men's prison. So we have expanded from Baltimore City to Hagerstown, to Cumberland, to the Eastern Shore, training and teaching all across the country. We are negotiating now with CCAR, which is the training organization nationally, to accept one of the training programs that we wrote.
Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Who would have thought 24 years ago when everybody was saying to us, you can't do that. And you can't run that house like that. And nobody runs a house that way. How are you going to sustain yourself? How are you going to, we are still to this day 95% volunteer.
Yes. Yes.
Service.
And accredited.
Yes.
Oh yes, thank you, Karen, for that. We are internationally accredited by CARF. We have MCOR certification, and we have won the Seal of Excellence from Maryland Nonprofit for the last 3 years in a row. How did we get here? Mastermind. How did we get here? When Madeline, I don't know if you remember this, but I came to your house one day and we talked about the light of truth, and you asked me, what do you see for the light of truth? We wrote a vision for that. That's still a part of our manual to this day, and I want you to know things that we spoke 24 years ago are still unfolding to this day.
Yes.
Places we thought we would just imagine ourselves to be, we are there now. And doors continue to open. And what was the basis of it all? A spiritual experience that led to the practical application of a spiritual tool taught here at OGOT called the Mastermind Prayer.